We're going to talk now about the market, which we don't necessarily do a ton on this show, but we
do sometimes. You're just not with us all the time.
True, fair enough. I guess I have to acknowledge I am a dilettante, a pretender, and a fraud. So this is Ethereum and BTC are getting beaten in the market by what we broadly call alts. So whether they're ERC20 tokens or things that are on their own chain, we're seeing particularly, I don't know what our data is, but we have Solana, we have a few other sort of top performers that are not BTC and ETH, but pretty big, doing really well. I guess I should disclose I hold some Solana, but it hit an all-time high. And so this is generally what people historically in crypto call alt season. We're starting to see alts outperform Bitcoin, and now I guess Ether is no longer considered an alt itself. So it's one of the sort of baselines, and if you've got coins outperforming those baselines, we're looking at alt season here. People say it all the time, but it looks like it might actually be happening now. Yeah, I don't know what the transition is here, so I'm just going to
That's okay,
look
David.
at Jen and expect her to fill
David is
in
looking at me,
silence.
and I am going to take it. That's like our physical transaction there. So, I mean, this story wasn't surprising to me. We've been talking about alt season on this show all year. So I want to come back to that. But we talk so much about meme coins and communities that are forming around these coins. And definitely a community has formed around Bitcoin and Ethereum. But when you go on TikTok and you see these young influencers who are in crypto and they're talking to their communities, they're all talking about altcoins. They're not talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this wasn't surprising to me. Crypto for everyone. I mean, I've been at the NFT NYC conference all week, and everyone is always talking about communities and how NFTs are forming communities, and we can say the same for meme coins. And so it's not surprising. I think Bitcoin and Ether are more for like the old heads of crypto. But Christy, I'll pass this on to you. What did you take away from the story?
Well, I think one of the interesting things that I took away from it was the emphasis on these alternative blockchains that are emerging as complements. I prefer the word complements to Ethereum as opposed to competitors to Ethereum, because I think they all can work together. And if you haven't subscribed to the Valid Points newsletter yet, you should, because Teddy Oosterban's been writing about this quite extensively, and the value of these alternative ecosystems and how they're really emerging. One of the reasons I think, and it ties in with the NFTs, is the fact that the Ethereum gas prices are so high and they're a lot cheaper elsewhere. And I think until there's a switch to proof of stake on Ethereum, there's also going to be the pull towards the ecological value of platforms like Solana that are proof of stake and use far less energy. So there's less of a stigma to using those blockchains for building your NFTs on them.
Yeah. The interesting thing, it's interesting, Jen, you bring up Dogecoin and SHIB, because that's kind of a new addition to the cycle, frankly. And I almost would say they don't qualify as alts in the way that we have traditionally talked about them. I see Christy cocking her head, so maybe we'll have a response here. But I almost
Christy,
put meme coins.
Me.
I almost put meme coins in a third category. Versus the functional alts that Christy is talking about. But you don't buy that, Christy?
I think that they are definitely alternatives to useful cryptocurrencies that do things.
We go.
That is definitely alternative, and I think the real attraction to these is it's the fun side of cryptocurrency. When you have something new like the crypto space, and all of a sudden we're talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum being old and fuddy-duddy, and we've been around, they're barely in their teens, for crying out loud. I think that people are just looking for the next fun meme token that may take them to the moon and give them some street cred in the crypto industry. And, they're taking their gambling chances, and hopefully enough of them know that, like what SHIB is coming down like 20% or something today. It's dicey, but you can have some fun when you're on the ride.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely just emphasize that again. This is high risk. Even Bitcoin and Ethereum are speculative investments still to some extent, and you got to be careful. But when you start talking about the alts, it really can get you taken out fast if you're not.